Hello, welcome everyone. It's good to see all of you again. It's always an honor and privilege to be here with you, learning together how to survive in this world. Now, as I mentioned before in all pretty much most of the videos, that we are here for a specific reason, each and every one of us. Okay, whatever you think it is, and this is why your life is not going according to the way you want it to go. Because why? You are going against the plan. You're going against the plan. You're going against the wave. What happens? Eventually, if you are going against the wave, you're going to get tired and you're going to give up. And this is the problem with many, many millions of people who are feeling the wave in their life. They're feeling the wave in their life. So again, we must understand what we need to do to beat this wave or go with the wave, not going against the wave. Okay? And this, as long as you're going against the wave, you're going to struggle, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to ask you this. Have you struggled? Have you been struggling before? The people you know around you, are they struggling? Who do you know in this world is not struggling? What kind of struggles? Children problem, medical problem, finance problem, relationship problems, house problem, car problem, job problem. You get the point, right? So there's going to be issues in your life. Now, why do we have these things? First, let's talk about why we were created. We were created, ladies and gentlemen, for three reasons. Okay, there's others, but these are the three reasons to come into this world. The first reason is to serve. Who are we serving? God is to serve. That's one. The second reason is to do kindness to other people. We have to do kindness. If you're serving God, it's obvious, because you're serving God, you're going to do kindness. You're not doing kindness to God, but you're doing kindness through people for God. You're serving God through the kindness that you do for other people. Make sense? This is what you are doing. Okay? So you're serving God by doing kindness to other people. That's the second one. Kindness. The third one is there's going to be trials. You're here for trials. Okay? You're not going to escape the trials, ladies and gentlemen. That is the third reason why you were created. You're going through ordeals. There's going to be trials in your life. And why? Because this world is based on reward and punishment. Okay? So the trial is, which is the free will that allows you to decide, do I go left or right? Do I do good or bad? Okay? Do I steal or not? So we have free will. And that free will comes with consequences. It comes with responsibility. And we eventually going to have to pay for those decisions we made that was not according to God's will. Now, if you are living according to why you were created and you understand the purpose of it, these trials you're going through is not going to be as difficult as it may look. Even though you're going through a hard time, you don't feel it because you understand who's bringing these trials into your life. You understand who's creating this problem in my life. And there's a reason. Everything God does is not by mistake. It's not for punishment. And even if it looks like a punishment, it's to correct you. Again, if you have children, at one point you had to punish them. What was the purpose of the punishment? The purpose of the punishment is correction. It hurt, but it's designed to correct. Well, same thing with us. These trials you're going through is designed to correct or to elevate you to the next level. Because why are you capable? You say, well, I don't want to be elevated. Well, let's look at, again, your children. Right now, you have a child. You have two children. One is a straight A student, and the other one is a C student, right? So the C student, he's been a C student all his life. You understand his ability. But one day, the A student making B's and making C's. And you wonder, okay, you're going to question, well, what happened? Why are you questioning the C and B with the A student? Because you know That is not his ability. He's beyond that. He's an A. His ability is to produce A's. And you expect that. So therefore, you're going to speak to him and says, what's going on? You're going to address that. Because why? That's not where he's at. So when God gives us trials, he knows we are higher than where we are now. Okay? He knows that. So this is one of the ways for us to grow by these trials and for us to overcome where we are now, meaning to get beyond where we are. Think about it this way as well. When you were young, you had these ideals, right? You had these ideals, what you wanted to do with your life, whatever the case is. But again, as you grow, you go through trials. Those ideas become more refined. You're refining them, you're adjusting them till they come down to more specific ideals or more realistic ideas that you think you're capable of handling. But that's through our eyes. That is not through God's eyes. God sees more in you than you see in yourself. The same way that child, when you look at that child, you know he has a lot more potential than what he's trying. Well, that's what God is saying to you when he puts you through these trials. He says, I know you have more than what you are currently producing. So I'm going to push you. I'm going to put fire under your seat to get you to go higher where you belong. And that's the purpose, to elevate you to become a much better person, a greater person. And what is that like? Are you still the same person you were, let's just say, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago? Are you still the same person before the pandemic and after the pandemic? What kind of person are you? So use that pandemic. How were you? What was your mindset? And what are you now today? Okay? So I can tell you personally, for me, I'm a completely different person before the pandemic to what I am now. You know, I don't recognize who I was before, to be honest with you, but I have some glimpse because, again, as we grow, we don't really remember too much unless it's really some serious issues that happen during a specific time in our life. We're going to remember the event. But as we grow, we have to move into our new role, the new person we're becoming. So therefore, the old has to shed the old to move into the new. And that's what God does. He shed the old. You had here, you at this point. Now I need you to this other point. So we're going to let the past go for you to adjust to your current status. To show you again, give you another example, is when Abraham first test. Abraham had 10 tests. His first test was to leave his mother, his father, his nation, his country behind and go to a new place. And God did not tell him where that new place is going to be. Why? Then he would have expectation. And then when you think you know, you're still keeping things in the confinement. What God was trying to do is get Abraham, we heard this before, out of our comfort zone. Abraham had a comfort zone. God had to push him out of that comfort zone around his family, what he's used to, and put him into a new environment to adjust, to grow to the next level. And that's what God does. He's taking us out of our comfort zone. Why? For us to elevate, become better than what we were before, not to be stuck and remain there. I'm sure a lot of you know people that you know 10, 20 years, 30 years later, and you see them again or you hear about them and say, wow, he's still the same way. He hasn't changed. He hasn't grown, or she hasn't changed, hasn't grown. Why? This person got stuck. They got stuck. They didn't become a better product. In this world, the purpose is for you to become a better product of yourself. These trials is what produce a better you. That's the purpose of these trials. That's why we are here as well. So again, you have to keep in mind, do not look at this as a punishment. It is not a punishment. Okay? God gonna throw waves of trouble into your life to get you to the next level to produce a better product of a human being. This is what we are here, to refine our character. And why do we have to refine this character? Because it's attached to our soul. When we're created, and it's beautiful, when you look up in the heavens, into the stars, into outer space, what do you see? Endless space. Now it's said when Adam was created, Adam and Eve, they occupied the entire universe. That was how big they were. They were so big, they fit into the entire universe. Can you imagine a being the size of the universe? We can't imagine that. Well, that was Adam and Eve. Okay. So what happened is when the soul is reincarnated, the good part that you mastered is only part of the soul that comes back reincarnated. Which part is that? The part that needs to be fixed. For example, in your previous life, you were a thief, but you're a thief, but you were a giver. So that stays, that part of your soul stays. But the thief of that part of that soul comes back to earth to fix that part of it. Okay? So your soul is split. So if you have 80% that is good, it stays, and then the 20% comes back because you have to fix that part of the 20% that needs to be fixed. Okay? So you were a thief in previous life, then you need to come back and fix that. Also pay for what you have done in the previous life to other people. Because if you're a thief, you hurt a lot of people. So you have to pay for hurting those people, and you have to correct this part of the soul that needs correction, which is stop being a thief. Okay? So again, we come here. This is where, if you understand why you're coming back to fix, this is attached to that part of the three-part why we were created. Because we're going to have trials, and those trials is to make us a better product, is to fix what we did not fix in the previous life. In the previous life, we had issues, but we did not fix them. This is why you're coming back, and part of that soul comes back reincarnated into another being, but you don't remember, but you come back and you fix it. Now you say, well, how do I know what I need to fix about myself? I'm going to tell you something. Ask your parents. If your parents are not there, ask your husband, ask your wife. If they're not available, ask your best friend. Because I'm telling you, if they are honest with you, these people, they'll tell you what they don't like about you, what you should be working on. They'll tell you. So now you know how to identify, why did I come back here into this world? I came back here for that reason, to fix that part of my life. This is the purpose of reincarnation. And if you notice, it's tied into perfectly why you are created. Again, to serve, because remember, why am I serving God? To do good deeds? Because you went to heaven. You went up, well, you're not in heaven yet. After the Messiah comes is when heaven will be available. Right now, there's a place called where the soul is like a middle or standby, okay, in a place where the souls are waiting to come back here into this world to fix the other part that is not completed. And also those who have completed all of their part of the soul, they're done, they're there waiting to move into heaven. But again, if you are on earth and you are listening to this, you're here to fix something. Okay, do not once think you're perfect. You're not. Okay, you have to fix that part of you. If you're not sure what it is, speak to someone who knows you. They will tell you what you need to work on. Being either more nice, more giving, more understanding, more polite, removing anger, removing ego, removing arrogance, liar, cheaters, mistreating your wife, mistreating your husband, not being a righteous woman or a righteous man. What does that mean, righteous? Meaning that sleeping around with different men you're not married to. Same thing with men. Sleeping around with different women you are not married to. That means if you're doing those things, you are not righteous. And guess what? You're going to come back and fix it again in the next life. And you're going to suffer for that. You're not going to get a spouse. Why? Because you did the wrong thing. You hurted people. So you don't deserve to get a spouse in the next life you come because you hurt those people. So part of the suffering is not for you to find a spouse. It's a hard thing to understand. It's really hard to absorb, But if you really think about it for a minute, say, okay, I've done things wrong. And the reason why we can't remember, God would not allow us to remember, is because imagine you were this horrible, horrible person in a previous life, and you come back knowing this. The truth is, you're not going to be able to deal with it. You're not. Let's say in your previous life you kill 100 kids. Can you really come back here knowing this? You've done this kind of crime and want to live? You can't. So God blocks this out to allow you to be able to fix this in a way where you don't have this in back of your conscience. Now you may say, well, it's unfair. It's not unfair. God is giving you multiple chance to fix you so that way you can make it into heaven. That's his goal. His goal is not to hurt you. He wants the best for everyone. Think about it for a minute. How about your children? Let's use your children for a minute. If you're a parent, do you really want to punish your child? Let's say your child has done something horrible, horrible, whatever that may be. Okay, beat up a kid, almost senseless, in a hospital. That's what your son did, or that's what your daughter did to someone. How do you handle something like that that you know your child did to another one? How do you deal with that? Well, one, you're not going to be happy about it for sure. Two, you know there's going to have to be consequences, right? There's going to have to be consequences. Can you just sit back and not do anything about that? You can't. You have to do something because you know why? Because it can only get worse and you need to correct this now while you can. And you know the punishment is not going to be light because your child put someone in a hospital almost near death, right? So if it's not going to be the government who administer punishment for what your child did, and it's something that you have to do, you're going to have to do something. If not, you're going to lose that child because they're going to think it's okay. And next time, they may actually kill someone. And you understand that. So therefore, you have to take drastic measure to prevent from this happening again. And that's what God does. But again, you're giving your child a chance. You're not condemning them. You're still giving them a chance to redeem themselves, to fix what they did, right? You're giving them a chance because why? You love them, but you're giving them a chance. And that's only at the human level. Ladies and gentlemen, do not try to understand God, to rationalize and understand God's ways. Waste of time. And plus, it's a sin too. You know, you can ask a question, why is this God? You can do that. That's fine because, again, it's a child asking the parents a legitimate question. But do not once think you understand God. You are a physical being. You are limited. If you don't know what is the square root of 81, square root of 9, you don't even know algebra, you didn't like math. You did not like math. What makes you think you can understand God? You cannot even understand the basic physical things that we do here to survive. But you want to act as if you can understand God. You can rationalize what God is doing. Imagine your 5-year-old is saying same thing. They can rationalize and making judgment against you. Say, oh, you're not a good mother. You're not a good father. This 5-year-old telling you that because from their level of understanding, they're judging you. Does that make sense? And that's what we do all the time. We're judging God thinking we have a clue. You don't have a clue. First, you must understand the way God runs this world. Just like this child or you when growing up, you must understand the rules your parents put into the house. Once you understand the rule and now you're an adult, you look back and say, oh, wow, that makes sense. I look back now, my parents had those rules to protect me. Because at that time, you could not understand it. Matter of fact, you probably disagree with it or went against it. Being an adult, being a parent yourself, you understand these rules clearly. And you probably now implementing these rules for your own children. You see? Because now you have understanding. But again, to have some understanding of God, we'll never have that kind of understanding God has. But he gives us enough information to feel comfortable with ourselves and the way he's running the world to give us confidence to follow his ways. You will never have peace of mind or succeed like you want to if you are going against his rules. The same way your child's going against your rules, guess what? They're not going to succeed either, right? the day gonna have to come where if they continue being disobedient, not following the rules, you have to take more drastic measure. And sometimes some parents kick their child out the house. They reach a certain age, you're 18, okay, get out of my house. You refuse to follow my rules, you bringing issues, troubles into this house over and over. I'm bailing you out. I'm tired of bailing you out. Get out, go do it on your own, and then you'll figure it out. You can see I was trying to protect you as a father, as a mother, but you didn't want it. So now you're on your own. And this is what a lot of parents end up doing eventually. Because why? They can't take it anymore. But the thing about God, He's different. So He's going to give us plenty of chances. And the way He does that, we come back in this world being reincarnated. He's giving us a chance to fix what we have done wrong. Okay? So I thank you for being with me and learning together. You have to apply these information into your life. You're not going anywhere. It's sadly to say, this world is based on God principles, God's rules. Again, if you want to go against the wave, be my guest. But how long can you keep going against the wave before you get smashed into the rocks and you give up? You see? So I'm telling you from personal experience, there's nothing more greater than following the rules of your parents. There's really, because why? When you follow your parents' rule, you feel that connection with your mom and your dad, and you feel that, wow, they're proud of you, they love you, you feel that sincerity, and they're constantly helping you because they see you're doing your part. They love you, they're protecting you. So it's a great feeling. And we have to do that with God because God is a creator and is the parent. We are nothing more than a shadow of who God is. We are trying to emulate Him, even though we don't know God. But that's what we're doing because that's our DNA. Our DNA is from God. And we have a lot of things in us that emulate what God does. We are parents the same way He's our parents. We are parents too. Same way He loves us, we love our children. Same way He punished us, we punish our children. Same way He let us go when we don't want to listen, we let our children go as well. We let them go beat their head against the wall, let them figure it out on their own. And eventually what happens? They come back to us. Same thing we do with God. When we tired of failing, we come back to Him. Ladies and gentlemen, share this video. Push like. Again, this is information. You can always go back to it. If you listen to this video many times, you're going to learn so many different things you didn't pick up the first time around. And that's the beauty about God's words. It's never 2 plus 2, 4, and I got it. I don't have to go back to it. I'm not going to learn anything new. God wisdom does not work like that. You can listen to this video many times and other things are going to click. Other things are going to tie into other things for you in your life and then make and develop you more. And you're going to say, wow, it is amazing. Start paying attention to that. You're going to see it. You will see that, okay? That's the beauty about God's word. It's not that you listen to it once and you got it, though. You can listen to it many times and you're going to learn something new every time. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. And I say again, subscribe, share these videos. Again, they can help you, family members, people you are close to, church members, for them to understand how to function. I'm putting out a lot of videos with different topics. All is for you to understand how to function in a world that God created. Thank you. Have a very good day. God bless.